Hello everyone, the Walking Virus here, and it's time to talk about another roguelike, this time involving an early access flashy arcade style shoot 'em up with a few interesting twists. Let's see if it blew me away or if it crashed and burned. This is the good, the bad, and the bland of Nova Drift. Nova Drift comes from the minds of Chimeric and is a mix of asteroids, an action RPG, and a roguelite all meshed into one experience that has the player avoiding hazards and blasting ships to level up and increase their ship's abilities in order to survive the ever-increasing waves of danger. The game currently has two similar main modes of play: the basic endless mode that continues the game after the final boss, and a wild modifier mode that makes the game feel a bit more random by limiting your upgrade options a bit in exchange for access to some interesting modifiers that allow you to stack even more bonuses to whatever build you may be aiming for. And there are more modes intended by the time the game fully releases, but what is the game good at right now? The sheer variety of build options that became available to the player is astounding. I found myself excited for each new run to try out something different, and the plethora of extra modifiers that unlock after the end of your runs kept sparking even more ideas. In addition, the not-so-limited ability to re-roll the modifiers you get to choose from when you level allows you to have a better chance at getting the mods you're looking for, or at least something you'll want at some point. It creates such a fantastic theory crafting loop similar to a lot of action RPGs like Path of Exile and Diablo, and has enough options that you should be able to find a build or two that fits most styles of play. I found the gameplay itself to be rather addictive, with movement and the variety of weapons all feeling fantastic and entirely different from each other. The whole time I was playing it, I had the habit of making me say just one more run, combined with some excellent sound design that really reminded me of a modern take on the old arcade style of game they seem to be going for. But, unfortunately, not everything is so explosive in this game, so let's talk about some of the duds. Having a lot of really awesome ways to make things explode kind of comes with a drawback, namely losing the ability to keep track of what's happening on the screen. With the sheer number of particle effects and explosions going on at any given time towards the latter half of a run, it can sometimes become extremely difficult to understand where you are, or even which ship is yours. And that's kind of the only real negative thing I have to say about Nova Drift, honestly. But it does have a few other lesser problems I can see, so let's talk about the dull parts in its hull. The game has a few problems with relaying information on certain later unlocks, typically requiring the player to go to the unlock screen just to see how to acquire it during a run. But this game is still in early access, so hopefully that is something that gets worked on throughout the development. In addition, there isn't really a way to pause a run midway and return to it on a future session, but that isn't particularly the biggest deal either, since most runs only take about 15 to 20 minutes on average once you get the hang of the game. But now that those are out of the way, let's head to the final question and the final frontier of this review. Nova Drift is an interesting entry into the shoot-'em-up genre, providing a lot of depth and engagement while keeping gameplay fairly simple and arcade-like. It may not be a complete evolution of the genre, but it doesn't have to be. And while there are still a few game modes in development for it as it heads for a full launch, it is still an excellent game as is, so long as you enjoy those old arcade shooters. And that's why I would wholeheartedly recommend picking this title up. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. It feels good to be back on a fairly regular creation schedule again. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any further questions about this game or any of the other games I've covered, feel free to leave a comment or join the Discord in the descriptions below. I'll catch you all in a couple weeks, and until next time, keep gaming.